So proceeding on with our lesson regarding these trees and indexes, what we're trying to get you guys to understand is how does the structure of the data inside of these affect what you see over here? Okay? So right now, one of the things, when we put the flattened component on there, it put all these little X's on. So I'm going to turn that off. Turn the preview of that off. Do the same thing with flip. All right. And for right now, I'm going to turn off the points so they're not visible. And what I'm looking at is just what I have for the data tree. Okay? And so you can see right now that the data tree is kind of resembling what's going on here, right? So it's taking the numbers that are being output from the random number generator, and you can see those numbers right here, right? See those right here? This is the values that are coming out of the random number generator. Now, how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first circle is pretty big, right? So look up here right now. Don't try to do what I'm doing. Just try to correlate it. Understanding the trees and the lists and the data structure is crucial to figuring stuff out later, which is why I'm belaboring the point now. Okay? So we're taking this here, this information, and we're matching it up with this one. So it's taking this point, 0, which we all know where it is now, right? And it's going to put this circle on it right here. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay? So it's going to put which is the biggest circle that you guys see here? 0.133? That's the biggest one, right? That one's smaller, 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 smaller. So if you look over here, right, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, oh, that is the biggest circle. So it's feeding this 0 and linking it to that 0. So there it is. Then it's going to put out a small circle, right? Not the smallest circle, but a small circle. So, all right, there's that one, and that's going to put it at 1. So there it is at 1. And that's that one. Now there's this little tiny one here. Do you guys see that one? Let me zoom in on it. See how tiny that is? You want to change that? Where would we change it if we wanted that circle to not be so small?
The domain.
Correct, the domain. So right now I've got it set to 0. So I'll just kick that up to 0.25. Oops, do not put an enter there. Once I do that, notice that all the values changed. And all the values in here changed. So there's my first one. That's that one. So if I was to measure this, it would be a radius of 0.134. Okay? Now what happens when, so this is 0, there's 0. Here's 1, that one's 1. Hold on. I'm going to try and do this with the snipping tool. All right, so let's try this with the snipping tool. Actually, hold on. I got to pan down a little bit. All right, because I want to see this index, this tree, and those values. So here we go. Snipping tool. Okay, so this number is feeding that circle right there. And it is being combined, right? The circle is being combined with this value right here. So that's the size that's going through circle, and it's becoming that size right there. Okay? Then the next one, number 2, or number 1. That is that one there. Right? And that's using this value right here. So it's feeding into circle and then over to there. You see how the data structure is going from one place to another? if we flip the matrix, it's going to flip around on us. So let's keep following this through. This third number over here, which is number 2, is going to go to here. And then number 3 is going to go to here. And then we get to number 4, which is this one. And it gets to here. Now what happens when it does not have another value? It is. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. Right? We are only outputting 5 values here. So what happens when it gets to the 5th value? What's it do for the 6th one? It repeats it. Exactly. Okay? Now if we went back to, I'm going to erase this, or not save this. Okay? If we go back, watch what happens to that 6th number if I change this value in the random number generator to 6. So watch. I'm sorry, I didn't change it. Try it again. I got to move this up so I can click OK. So 6 and OK. Now it has 6 values. This last value is 1.37. That's how it made that last circle. So it's taking this information here, linking it with that, and then putting it over here. Now, if instead of feeding this into here, these are the points, right? So let me move this over. Watch what happens to the order if I take this one here, the flip matrix. What do you think it's going to do? Instead of going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you watch. Instead of all these being the same and these being the same, it's going to do the other thing. So here we go. So I'm going to take this out of flip and feed it into the circles. And see what happened? So it's doing that. Now let's see what happens when we send the flatten one in. What happened to flatten?
When he does it on the first one,
we only have 6 values coming out. So that one's 1, that's another, that's another, that's another, that's another, right? That's another, and then after that it just repeats. Okay? So you have to be able to understand what's happening inside of the data tree, and you're not paying attention, so I can see you not looking up here. You need to understand what's happening in the data tree in order to be able to analyze what's going on with the definition. Okay? All right. So let's finish this definition. So if you guys would turn your monitors off, and I'm going to stop this and start a fresh